republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for being patient with us. We'll go ahead and get started. Before we get to public comment, just a few things. We take the public comment period very seriously, and we typically provide a public comment period at the beginning and end of each meeting. The public comment period overall will not exceed 30 minutes total, and each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. If you would like to speak on something, please step forward. You can step right to where that laptop is over there. State your full name, and if you represent an organization, just the name of the organization and the agenda item that you wish to comment on. Please be aware that by law, individual student information and specific personnel issues cannot be discussed in public sessions, including public comment. So if your comment deals with an issue with a specific student or staff member, you must handle that through the appropriate staff member or administrator. And lastly, just be aware that we do not generally respond while the meeting is in public session, but we do take careful notes of what we say. So with that out of the way, does anyone have any public comments to open the meeting tonight? No. Okay. Moving on to the STA report. Yeah, you can stand right up there if you'd like.
I've been in person in a while.
Yeah.
All right, I'm Stacy Parker, 5th grade, and the half of the STA. Few things happening. We have Miss Marcone's 1st grade owls adopted a calf through the Dairy Discovery Adopt a Calf program. Their calf's name is Marley. She is a Jersey cow and is from the Dutch Hollow farm. It's the same farm that they got their last year's calf Cheerio from. Also on Friday, November 12th, her class got to take a virtual field trip to Ohio to see a dairy farm. We got different types. They're taking this information and making it one of our small moments. Tom Bryson's class had Dr. Donald Dukowski, Professor Emeritus of Economics, come to teach a guest lesson recently to the SUPA personal finance class. The high school student services has a bunch going on. Throughout the fall, they had 80 different college military reps visit with their juniors and seniors. Representatives were from various colleges throughout the Northeast and branches of the military. Most visits were in person, with a handful being virtual. On October 19th, they had their annual financial aid night with Suny Adirondack. This program looked a bit different this year. Not only did they have financial aid presentation for families, but they also offered a financial aid workshop and an instant admission program. Seniors were able to complete an application for admission to Suny Adirondack free of charge, while families were able to begin their FAFSA with the assistance of representatives from Suny Adirondack's financial aid office. The turnout was great as they had close to 30 students participate in the Instant Admit program. On October 27th, they had their annual Instant Admit program with HBCC. During this event, 6 students met with an admissions counselor from HBCC and were accepted to college on the spot. French Club concluded their poinsettia sale, currently preparing for our holiday festivities. National Honor Society and National Junior Honor Society students are planning to provide tutoring to middle school and elementary school students. Plans are in the works. French 5 students have just finished creating cooking show presentations in French using imperative verb forms. The 5th grade just concluded a Too Good for Drugs program where students were taught how to make good choices, resist peer pressure, and goal setting. Lots of learning is happening in the library, the elementary library right now. Kindergarten students are learning the parts of books. Students in 1st grade are learning about their favorite beginning reader books. 2nd grade students are finishing up an author-illustrator study of Mick Barnett and John Klassen. 3rd grade students are learning how to find nonfiction books independently, and students in 4th and 5th grade are learning about computer programming. We are also taking plenty of time to check out books during library classes. More than 5,500 books have been checked out of the library so far this year.
Thank you. All right, so we're on to audit review. So Jeff Beecher is here.
Good evening, Jeff Beecher with firm of Beecher Bethel. We're your independent auditors. First, I'd like to go over our findings of the audit, which is on page 75. So, the very back of the audit. And there, we're just commenting that the district is over the 4% fund balance. And if you look at page 21, that shows you the calculation where we calculate what your fund balance was. And so at the very bottom, you can see that you are just over, really, 5.6%. And the way that's calculated is 4% of the current year budget for the fund balance that you're allowed to carry forward from June of 2021. Next, I'd like to go over the balance sheets of the district. That starts on page 13. And here you have the general fund in the right-hand column. That's the fund that pretty much expends most of your expenses during the year. Down at the very bottom, you can see that your total fund balance is $9.7 million. And you have designated restricted funds of $4.1 million. And you carried over funds of $3.3 million. And then the unassigned was the 2.1, which that represents the 5.6% of your fund balance. The next column is the special aid fund. That's just money in and out. You receive a grant, you expend it. They usually don't carry over. Your school lunch fund is supposed to operate on its own, and you still have a pretty healthy fund balance for your school lunch fund. That's one fund that schools, a lot of schools struggle with, to keep a positive fund balance. And your capital project fund, they have a fund balance of like 1.2 million almost. And there, that's money that you have for the project that you just are finishing up. And you also had some bond premiums last year when you issued a bond. And that money has to be used for debt or go back to the general fund. Next, I'd like to go over page 15. And that's the revenues of the funds. So you can see in the general fund, you added $51,000 to your fund balance. You generated $51,000 more revenues than expenditures for the year ending. And the special aid fund, that's just a wash. The money comes in from grants and you expend it on your special education programs. And the school lunch fund, you had a profit of $86,000. That's because the schools are getting a little extra money for reimbursement the last couple of years. So that's helping out the school lunch fund a little bit. And the capital fund, you can see you expended more money that's to be expected. You're winding up your project. You received the proceeds from the debt, so that kind of offset it. And so you're down to that 1.2 million. I think the amount of financing that shows up on page page 22. 22. So that shows you what of the capital project fund balance, what's the fund balance, where it's coming from. You can see that your last project, you had, as of June, you had 339,000 that you didn't expend of the old project, or not, of the current project that you're wrapping up. Then you had some interest in bond premiums, and that money, like I said before, has to be used for that or go back to the general fund. Then on the other schedule I'd like to look at would be in page 21. I'm sorry, on page 20. That is shows you the current budget, what you expended or received in revenue, and whether you're over or under on your budgets. At the very bottom, you can see that you added 51,000 to your fund balance. So there's a schedule that we would go over. And the only other thing is you do a separate audit for your extra classroom activity funds. Was it quite the volume there as it usually is because of COVID? That's on page 71. That shows the ins and outs of the fund from last year. Overall, it's a very good audit. So Mary and Christine and the staff did a great job. If you have any questions, feel free. If you don't, if you have them down the road, you can always contact us too. If you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Questions for Jeff? No. Okay. We're on to 4.2, administrator updates.
All right, good evening. So we'll start off with the elementary school. It's certainly been very busy over there. It's hard to believe that quarter one has concluded and we're in quarter two. Doesn't seem possible. We began our parent-teacher conferences on Friday, and all went really, really well. And then we have another full day coming up, which has been great. I'm really appreciative that we're able to have the parents in the building. I know not all school districts are able to do that, so I think it's, the parents appreciate it and the teachers do as well. We appreciate the parent support in completing the digital equity survey. We're at over 80% for the middle school, which is pretty impressive. We're hoping within the next week to complete that at 100%. Our emergency dismissal drill was on November 12th, and we're very thankful for the support of the community in making that possible. While it only seems like a 15-minute change in the dismissal, there's a lot that goes into it. And we got every student home safely, and the parents, really thanks to the community and the parents for all their work in that as well. Academic support has begun. We finished session 1 at the elementary school. We are servicing 78 students before school, K-5, which is pretty impressive. The teachers are working very hard with them. We have had many students transition out of the program, bringing new students in. We just began the second session, so it's going very, very well. We are doing a lot of grade level meetings with teachers. Sarah's going to speak a little bit more to that with regards to the work and the progress our teachers have made. Sarah's also going to highlight both the work of our curriculum committee and data committee, which also has spent a lot of time and really enhancing a lot of our efforts instructionally. The science lab is open and available for classrooms. I've walked by several times to see classrooms in there completing science lessons, which is great. We have a schedule in the day where every grade level has a period that they can utilize that space. At our next grade level meeting, we'll be reviewing the implementation of the science units and also the usage of that science lab. We've started the beginning phases of our elementary school report card review. So thus far, we're just highlighting the strengths and gaps. And there's plenty of both areas. So we're going to look at the correlation between the New York State learning standards and the curricular pacing, to make some final decisions with regard to that. PE has completed their quarterly assessment data, so this is new this year. The physical education department is really working hard to highlight student efforts with really a health and wellness push. So we have physical education students of the month, which has been really great, and then certainly some assessments that we're sharing with families on report cards. Social emotional learning is going excellent. I think now more than ever, it's critical that we're teaching the students. They're learning a lot. Mrs. Schwartz just wrapped up Unit 1. Which focused on goal setting and how to work through mistakes along the way, which again is an important life skill for students. Unit 2, which she is beginning now, is focusing on emotions such as managing stress. We had our first PEP meeting in person with our board members, which went well, and we hope to begin to have regular meetings so we can get parents involved in supporting our educational activities at the elementary level. Our playground is a huge hit. It continues to just enhance itself, which is great. We have the new pendulum swing. The kids absolutely love it, and I think the teachers actually love it more. I have a few snapshots of teachers riding that and checking it out, which is great. And specifically, the fourth grade teachers are showing their classrooms the collaboration and teamwork aspect to make the swing move. So they're really focusing on some team building activities, which I think is pretty awesome. The basketball hoop is also up, and we will be lining that with a 3-point line as well as a foul shot line, so that'll be great as well. Our outdoor classroom is also fully in, ready to be signed out. It looks amazing. You really should check it out. They really did a really nice job. So teachers will be able to sign out that space and use it as a classroom 12 months of the year, which will be really great, or 10 months, I should say. The effective schools and arts and education, we're really trying to get programs back into the hands of students. I know that, of course, with COVID, it's been on a little bit of a lull. So we are supporting classrooms and learning at a high level through either virtual programs or in-house visitors. We did Veterans Day Treats for Troops, which was 125 pounds that we collected of candy and letters to veterans. And we're also working on building beautification, both inside and outside. And then we're excited. We are bringing back the holiday sing-along on the 22nd for kids. So we'll be bringing them over to the high school where Chris Tucker does an amazing job to just bring the holiday spirit to kids just before the holidays.
Thank you.
And the middle school update, first of all, we have continued to promote positivity, unity, and positive school culture through our Gotcha Ticket program. And essentially what that is teachers get to focus on all the things that kids do right on a daily basis and give the kids tickets when they catch them doing that. The students go and put that in a box, and once a month we have a drawing for prizes. So in September, our winner was Ethan Warner. In October, our winner was Ajane Reed, and we have our next drawing coming up on November 30th. We've also been doing department level meetings in the middle school with the help of Sarah, and I will tell you the feedback that I've received from teachers has been tremendous. I think the knowledge base that Sarah brings to us, as well as her respect for what's going on in the classroom, has really led for some great conversations. Academic support, we continue with academic support at the middle school. Our core teachers are providing additional help right now for approximately 25 students per grade level, and we are going to make changes to those students or those kids depending upon progress. And we change that up about every 5 weeks. Student involvement. Our key this year was to get kids back involved and engaged, and let me tell you, they are. Obviously, having kids in sports and activities has had a tremendous impact on their mental health, and you see it every day in the middle school. Our clubs and our activities have been very, very busy. Because of the club fair that we had at the beginning of the year, we have a lot of students involved in clubs and lots of good stuff going on. Our Space is our middle school magazine. Terry Brennan said her attendance at those meetings has been unprecedented. She's got kids writing, and actually some kids have applied for some writing awards that they've received. It's called an Unsolved Writing Contest. Kids have really had a lot of fun creating mini sagas and submitting those. Our student council, we've recently had elections. Our president is Lila Crowley. Our vice president is Kyla Brady. Our treasurer is Lucia Hartwood. And secretary is Maya Korse. And then we have a variety of class reps: Colin Dickinson, Brady DeSiena, Zeddy Lyons, Chance Walsh, Maya Drayton, Charles Barton, Nikki Dallaire, Penny May, Riley Jacobs, Alexa Rust, Andy Wydat, Lily Whitbeck, Avery Cum, and Charles Hughes are all involved in student council. And one of the things that they're really looking at doing is promoting some fun and student motivating ideas. They've divided them up into teams. Each team already has about 5 to 10 ideas, and they're going to be working on putting that together after the break. And I'm sure they'll have lots of fun stuff for me to approve. Our Space is our, we talked about that. Mark Belden, robotics. The competition field is built. So kids are working on their robots. They are hoping to have them done by the end of March. He's got a lot of kids involved, but it is a building year because last year, obviously, we didn't have it. But he's excited about the interest. He's also figured out a way to tie in American Heritage History Month into his classroom by talking about the code talkers from World War II. Cryptography and ciphers are part of computer science, and they were a very important part of the work done by the Navajo and the American Indians. And he has infiltrated that into his classroom, and he said kids are really interested, he's learning. It's been super exciting for him. FBLA is going to be having their annual food drive that they do every year for Safer, and that's going to be all through the month of December. Then Drama Club, middle school drama club is coming. They're having the show will be in March 4th and 5th. I'll put that on your calendar. And they're having the auditions coming up December 7th and 8th. So they've had a couple meetings already to get interest up and running. They're also having an ugly sweater 5K on December 5th at Saratoga State Park. The art club just had a dodgeball tournament, which was really fun after school. The Gentlemen was the name of the team who won the dodgeball tournament, and they raised over $300. What they plan to do with that is they want to paint a mural right outside the art room in the middle school hallway, which they're excited about, as well as creating wooden signs with teachers' names outside every classroom. Environment Club, he said he has approximately 45 kids that are involved in the environmental club. They have small groups and they've been working hard to develop mini lessons to share with the elementary school classes on protecting the environment. And they recently collected over $100 from the Wear Green Day, and the money was donated to Hudson's Crossing. And then Math Counts has also been meeting. They participate, all 3 grade levels participate. Ms. DeLello said they work on anywhere from 5 to 10 problems within a 10-period session in preparation for their competition in February. And then our middle school band and winter concert, chorus concert, is coming up on January 10th at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium, and we are looking forward to bringing that back to our school community. That's everything middle school. Lots going on, as you can see.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. So first to start, tomorrow, district-wide, through some members of the SCA, they sold Be Like Beth t-shirts, because tomorrow is Beth Roberts' birthday. So it's one of the many things that we're doing as a district this year to continue to honor the life of Beth Roberts. I know a good amount of those t-shirts came in today, and hopefully the rest will come in tomorrow morning and will be distributed throughout the district. But tomorrow is Beth Roberts' birthday, so you'll see that going on throughout the district. High school staff donated Thanksgiving food items to provide 15 families with meals for this upcoming weekend for Thanksgiving. It was spearheaded by Andrew Wilson, Ross Marvin, and Pam Driscoll on Friday of this past week. Andrew and Ross made the deliveries for 15 families, and every year they're always very grateful, and the high school staff does a wonderful job making sure that they have all the necessary things to enjoy a nice Thanksgiving meal as a family. Our National Honor Society inducted 5 new members from our senior class this fall. So every year we have a group of new National Honor Society members that go in the spring, then another group that goes into the fall. So 5 were added to our membership this past fall. Our quiz team is up and running and competing, and will be hosting for the first time in a few years a match with 4 other schools here. Our quiz team has had a lot of success over the last few years, competing in the league that they're competing with a lot of bigger schools. We're one of the smallest schools in the league that they compete in, but that's something fun and interesting for them to be able to actually host a match with 4 to 6 other schools. We had 2 seniors named Heisman High School Scholarship winners. Owen Sherman and Izzy Rutano-Sayer were amongst 5,200 applicants and were selected as our 2 high school representatives and have the ability to move on in some higher level competition. But it's always nice when we have both a male and female student athletes selected for that. Jody Light, or Ogburn, and Ivy did a great job with the production of Sleepy Hollow. It was well attended both nights. I know our students had a blast being back on the stage and working inside, putting on drama production. If you watch the video that Taryn did, the way that Annabelle spoke about being able to be back on stage and bringing the production back to our school and our community, those students really did a fantastic job in that. Our FFA team went to Indianapolis for nationals to compete nationals. They made it also an educational field trip and made sure to stop at numerous agricultural manufacturing sites on the way out to Indianapolis. While they were in Indianapolis, we had a really great showing as a school, but then also as a District 3 and New York State chapter. Our own team of horse evaluation took home a bronze status. And then our dairy cattle evaluation team took home a gold ranking, which in the end they placed 9th in the country. So that's pretty well represented, knowing that most of the individuals on that team are juniors and sophomores. Our boys cross country team took second at the Class C meet about 2 weeks ago at Saratoga State Park. Darrell Hedden and Dan Forbanek qualified for states and then ran in states. On the girls' side, Megan Vianese finished third, so for her that was a great accomplishment to finish third out of all the runners on the girls' side, and then she also completed at the state meet. Our football team this weekend continued its winning ways with securing a sectional and then also a regional championship, and then they'll continue to play one more game down in Middletown with hopefully pulling out a win to be able to play back in the Dome for a state championship. We're at the end of our academic first quarter, just about a week ago. We had 90 students on the merit roll in the high school, 138 students on the honor roll, and then another 134 students on the high honor roll. So it's a really good snapshot of what our students were able to do academically back in the classroom in the first quarter. Through our ESSER funding, we have started our academic support 10th period, and right now we're serving about 65 students that will benefit directly from the additional academic support that we're able to provide through that grant. Our digital equity survey, we're up around 93% complete for the high school. We have less than about 45 families that still have to complete that, and hopefully we'll get it done before our December 1st deadline. Our staff participated in an annual Halloween door decorating contest. It's something we started 2 years ago, and they really enjoy it. And now we're getting ready for their Christmas holiday themed door decorating contest. It's a nice way to get some competition going amongst classes and to put everybody in the holiday spirit. Outside, behind the back of the building, down by the tennis courts and the parking lot down there, we have just had an outdoor obstacle fitness course installed and really ready to go. So it's now another great teaching station for our phys ed students, but it's also what I think really will benefit is our classes that go outside and take a little bit of a movement break. And now it's something that you can actually do than just walking around the building and things like that. It's a nice meeting spot for classes and then be able to kind of engage in a little physical activity while they're out there as well. We have about 15 days after the Thanksgiving break to really kind of push to get a good foundation for the second quarter. We're meeting with students right now who are academically struggling and making sure that they start the second quarter off on a good roll. You heard many of the things that Stacey talked about that our student services department has done over the last month. They're also involved in that academic structure piece for our students as well. And now I'll hand it over to Greg.
All right, I'm just going to give you a quick brief update on COVID. Obviously, we've known over the past couple of days, we've been a little busy, a lot of emails, probably some of the biggest pandemic that started. Currently, Saratoga County is 6.9% with 1,037 cases being positive over the course of 7 days. We currently have 105 students and staff that we were quarantined or positive. We have 28 positive over the last 14 days. A bulk of them started on Thursday, leading up to today, 26. So we're pretty much at a big tick. Washington County is at 13.3%. If you get bored one night, go to forward.gov and look at the percentages. They're pretty stellar in New York State. So it's on the up and up. I'd like to think we began with Halloween. No really contact within schools to say that people are becoming positive because they've been in contact with a positive. I know through contact tracing the last couple of cases, it's a party of a group of 40, a family birthday party, and all of a sudden these things just accumulate. But so we're pretty high right now, as you can see. I do want to update you. We are going to Adirondack Health and Wellness for vaccine clinic. We did do a survey that concluded on Friday, where 54% of the families do not want to participate. 46 do. We have a big number that does. So we're going to look into a vaccination clinic on the 14th of December. They're looking to get it done in 4 hours of time. 3 to 7. You know, more coordinating with the high school, to make sure that that date's open. We were gonna try the 15th, but it isn't because it's a musical, high school concert that day. But, you know, we're moving along. We did put emails out to staff just to be vigilant, with regards to grouping in lunch and masks and all this other stuff. You know, we're doing everything we can, you know, keep kids in school. So that's where we're at. Pretty happy. Any questions?
The vaccine clinic, can people get their first shot, second shot? Doesn't matter. Is it just for you?
Well, right now, I think it's the 5 to 11, so it'll be the first and second.
Okay,
'Cause
so
that's a
there would
certain-
be two
Yes,
2 days.
yep. And it's good because we're gonna have that around Health and Wellness. Our nurses go above and beyond and, you know, pulling them from their offices and stuff, you know, Adirondack Health and Wellness does the schedule, you know, and all the logging and, you know, it makes sense to be smooth.
I can ask a question. For our teachers, are we thinking about providing them anything? Because most of them probably were the first to get vaccinated. And obviously the CDC is encouraging boosters. Will we do anything for them at some point?
We can look
They're
into it.
past the 8-month point, probably.
I mean, they just basically are allowing, you know, other than,
Yeah, other than,
so they
just
just passed that, so
recently,
we'll
yeah.
have discussions about that.
Yeah.
But we're pretty excited to have it. There's a lot of shots happening.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
great.
and that's within the community, so we'll keep you posted as we get closer.
Good night, yeah. Thank you.
Great.
All right. Talk about very exciting curriculum things. Yay.
Yay.
So, we've been very busy. The teachers and staff have been working really hard during grade level meetings and department meetings, K through 12. Just gonna give a brief update on some of the items that we've been working on. At the elementary level in K-5, for ELA and math, we have been creating pacing tools that take all of our programmatic curriculum and realigns it to the next generation standards so that we will be ready and set for that rollout next fall. And we've also, since fully adopting the CKLA program in K2, we've been working through some of their knowledge domain units, which give the kids some really good shared reading experiences, builds background knowledge and vocabulary, and the kids really seem to enjoy the implementation of that work in our K2 classrooms. In conjunction with our new data committee, which I love, we've been developing a new set of data forms that we're using as a way to review our universal screening results, so that we can make really efficient decisions around our students that need additional supports, either through our academic service or our AIS or our win time within our classrooms. So we've worked really hard as a group to compile all that information and have some good conversations about the supports that our kiddos need. Curriculum committee has been very hard at work at the K-5 level. We have several volunteers that join us monthly to work through curriculum items. The first couple of meetings were spent building a 3 through 5 scope and sequence that takes a look at all of our language skills, our reading foundational skills, and our conventions, and essentially scoping them out so we can be sure that our materials and our resources and our instruction is targeting each of those outcomes along the way. We've had Words Their Way implementation training for our 2nd and 3rd grade teachers, really outstanding program that helps us to differentiate our foundation skills in spelling for our students in those grade levels. As well as we have an upcoming training with Jean Tribusi for our 3 through 5 teachers. That's going to focus on a readers workshop using the Teachers College, Lucy Calkins units of study. And we're going to take a look at small group instruction as well as the performance assessments that are embedded in that program with her supports. So at the middle school level, the middle school used the iReady diagnostic and reading this fall. We were able to take those results and build, again, a data template that allows the teachers to see sort of where students are with some of their reading needs, so that when they're integrating literacy skills across content areas, they have some information about their students to assist them. Our math team built a 6th through 8 progressions document that again takes their curriculum and aligns it to next gen. And through their department meetings, they've also been looking at the e-math curriculum, adapting the units and the lesson plans so that they're ready for use in the classroom. Science keeps working to unpack their new program. We're going to be getting some lab kits soon, so that's going to be really exciting. We're going to dive into those, see how to make them very user-friendly and hands-on for our students. I'm sure they'll enjoy those experiences. ELA has been working on writing, specifically argument-based writing. We just reviewed some materials from a program called Schoolwide. They take the Readers and Writers Workshop and kind of adapt it a bit so that it's a little bit more user-friendly for teachers to use various scaffolded tools and different things that they can implement in their classroom around argument-based writing. The teachers seem to really like the materials, so we're going to be taking those, trying those out, and embedding them into the current work. And then social studies. Social studies has been reviewing new series to adopt in their classrooms. So we took a look at 3 different programs. A program from Pearson, McGraw-Hill, and HMH. We had some virtual representatives come in and kind of do some overviews for us so that we can use a system to make a determination about what program would best match our needs. So hard at work at the middle school. Finally, the high school also has had some really productive department meetings over the last several weeks. We've begun to have some initial discussions around common grading practices and common grading language that various departments are using throughout the school year to sort of share those practices and get some ideas from one another as we move forward. All of the content areas have been hard at work updating their Hyperdoc curriculum templates. These are really an outstanding product that came from last year's work when thinking through sort of the pandemic instructional models that teachers were enduring, and they came up with some great documents to take their units and sort of build them out into weekly formats. So they continue to use that template for their curriculum and instruction and continue to update those quarterly. So very useful tools. ELA in their department meeting has started to create some supportive writing tools for the literary analysis essay that students will eventually be confronted with. So they've been building some differentiated tools for students to use instructionally. And social studies last week did some really outstanding work thinking about literacy and thinking strategies that are utilized for students to develop short response as well as more extended responses as they relate to enduring issues, which is a huge part of the global curriculum. So we're working on building that. In addition to these meetings and this time and these various committees, I've also put out there 1-hour optional training sessions after school for teachers to attend around various instructional topics. So we've had some folks take advantage of those and really seem to enjoy the resources that are shared. So we'll keep doing those throughout the school year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're on the board action, consent items.
5.1, motion to approve the consent 5.2 through 5.8 items as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. 6.1.
Board action. 6.1, motion to accept the following resolution. Whereas the board, for reasons of economy and efficiency, has determined that it is appropriate to abolish 1 part-time supervisor of attendance and create 1 full-time attendance clerk.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
6.2, motion to accept the following letters of resignation. Tricia Harley, Auditor, effective November 5th, 2021. Brooke Abrusco, Educational Aide, effective November 14th, 2021. Nicole Dalzell, Before and After School Coordinator, effective November 14th, 2021. And Christina Peregrine, Custodian, effective November 17th, 2021.
Second.
All those in favor?
Give it to Bob.
Tie goes to the runner.
Surprise.
Tie goes to the runner, Judy, you know that. Okay, 6.3, motion carries, sorry.
6.3, motion to accept Suzanne Palmetier's letter of resignation for retirement purposes effective December 31st, 2021.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried.
6.4, motion to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved that upon recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board hereby appoints Brooke Abrusco as an attendance clerk, 8 hours per day, 180 days, in the competitive class of the civil service to serve a 52-week probationary period commencing November 15th, 2021, at a prorated salary of $26,626 pursuant to Article BIIG of the CSEA collective bargaining agreement. And be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board hereby permanently appoints Jeffrey Piper as an athletic trainer in the competitive class of the civil service to serve a 52-week probationary term commencing on November 22nd, 2021.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
6.5, motion to accept the following resolution. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board hereby appoints Nicole Dalzell as an educational aide effective November 15th, 2021, at an annual salary of $15,930 in the non-competitive class of the civil service. And motion to accept the following resolution. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the board hereby appoints Carissa Osprey Millerworth as a cafeteria worker effective November 22nd, 2021, at an annual salary of $7,571 in the non-competitive class of the civil service.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried.
6.6, motion to appoint Nolan Palermo as the before and after school coordinator effective November 29th, 2021, at a prorated salary of $42,000, 6 hours per day, 200 days.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
6.7, motion to appoint the following coaches for the 2021-2022 school year. Justin Vianese, indoor track, volunteer. Kim Duncan, 7th grade girls basketball.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
6.8, motion to appoint Andrea Wilson and Kelly McKinley for academic support up to 1 hour per week for the 2021-22 school year.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
6.9, motion to approve Madeline Wright's FMLA request effective approximately December 9th, 2021 through February 3rd, 2022.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Congratulations.
Yeah, a little bit awkward, he said no. 6.10, motion to appoint Todd Gonu as interim K-8 assistant principal effective approximately December 9th, 2021 through February 3rd, 2022. Mr. Gonu shall be paid a daily per diem of $488 for all days booked.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. That is the rest of the business that we have. Second public comment period. Do we have any public comments? Okay. Motion.
Motion to adjourn, sorry.
No,
No
motion
motion.
enter executive.
Oh, motion
session.
to enter executive session, I'm sorry.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
It's been a lot, man.